Hello, my name is Jean Saldana. I'm from CIDSE. CIDSE is an alliance of Catholic development organizations from 17 countries in Europe and North America. In Spain, Manos Unidas is a member of CIDSE. CIDSE has been involved in campaigning on post-2015 and advocacy work on this agenda for around 3 years now, since 2010. We have been doing this at various levels in Europe as well as at the international level. Most recently, we have influenced the high-level panel's discussions, the high-level panel that is of eminent persons that was put together by the UN Secretary General. And we have also been talking about and trying to influence the UN Secretary General's report on the MDGs and post-2015 for the UN special event in September. CIDSE has also been involved in civil society work around post-2015. We are part of the Beyond 2015 campaign. In fact, we were one of the co-founders of the Beyond 2015 campaign. Beyond 2015 is an international campaign which is calling for a legitimate and inclusive process for the post-2015 framework, and a framework that reflects the aspirations, particularly of the poorest and the most marginalized in communities that live in poverty. In Europe, CIDSE is a member of the European Steering Group of the European Task Force of Beyond 2015, which is also a part of the Concord Federation of NGOs. The Beyond 2015 Task Force in Europe has most recently been involved in preparing a position paper, and this position paper specifically to influence EU discussions on its position, particularly for the UN special event on MDGs and post-2015 in September. There are new conclusions from the European Union which give indications of the European position on post-2015. Some of the positives about this position are the fact that it is calling for a comprehensive and single framework on post-2015, which would apply to all countries and would address all three aspects of sustainable development: the economic, the social, and environmental. It also calls for a human rights-based approach. It calls for addressing inequalities within and between countries. It calls for a specific focus on gender equality, on women's empowerment and addressing violence against women. And importantly, especially within the European context and in the context of climate change, it has a very specific focus on addressing planetary boundaries, addressing consumption and production, unsustainable consumption and production patterns, that is, and also environmental accounting. On the negative side, there is no specific clarity on EU commitments, what it's willing to put on the table in the negotiations, what it's willing to act upon in the post-2015 framework. There is a real lack of attention to governance issues in the EU position. There is nothing about private sector regulation or on accountability. Accountability is something that civil society is particularly concerned about, given the fact that the MDG framework was lacking an accountability mechanism, and this was one of its key weaknesses. Accountability and the fact that it is not addressed is one of the most serious deficiencies of the report of the UN high-level panel of eminent persons as well. And this is something that has come up for serious criticism in the recent report, which was released at the end of May. Additionally, the report does not pay any attention to policy coherence for development, which has been another issue that we have been calling for greater attention in the post-2015 framework. Moreover, it has a very optimistic view on the contribution that private sector regulation, private sector and economic growth can provide towards reaching the post-2015 goals. We are particularly concerned about this impact aspect going forward. Finally, we hope that in the next couple of months going forward, the UN Secretary General's report will play a particularly important role in providing a visionary and ambitious agenda for the post-2015 framework and the process for its formulation. The UN Secretary General's report on the MDGs and post-2015 is supposed to set the ground for discussions at this so-called UN special event on MDGs and post-2015 in September. We are hoping that it will specifically focus on human rights and human dignity, and rather than prioritize economic growth, it would prioritize obligations and remind member states and all other actors of their obligations to reach human rights. Furthermore, we hope that it will strongly emphasize the role that civil society should play and the accountability mechanisms that should be built into the post-2015 framework. Finally, we hope that it will provide more clarity on the process for the special event in September, what role civil society can play in that process in preparing the special event and its outcome, as well as the roadmap for creating the post-2015 framework itself. As I said, there is no clarity at the moment. The only thing that I can tell you right now is that the UN plans to organize a specific civil society hearing with civil society a couple of days before the special event, that is on the 23rd of September. Thank you.